Hello, my name is Barry Shore, Professor Emeritus at the University of New Hampshire and Head of Product Development here at SSGI. What is a product owner? Very simply, and perhaps obviously, it is a person who is responsible for delivering a successful product. But as you can imagine, that responsibility is considerable. First, product owners must ensure that the product reflects the voice of the customer, VOC. Second, they must ensure that the proper steps are taken to develop and deliver the product. Third, they must balance the competing demands of speed, quality, and cost. And fourth, they must address the inevitable technical and human challenges associated with the project. Product owners are both managers and leaders. According to the Harvard Business Review, managers manage work while leaders manage people. So managers attend to the detail necessary to get the job done. They engage in activities such as organizing resources, directing what needs to be done, and controlling work to ensure that objectives are met. Leaders, they assume a much broader range of activities. In addition to managing, they focus on building effective teams, motivating their followers, and contributing to the strategic objectives of the organization. Product owners are primarily leaders. Because leaders lead people, and conflict among them is inevitable, product owners develop skills for negotiating these differences. They learn what works and what doesn't. Above all, they learn to resolve differences within the framework of a high-performance team. Because new products commonly reflect some degree of change, product owners must be prepared for possible resistance. But even more importantly, they must ensure that those engaged in the project are motivated to do a good job. Several proactive steps should be considered: building a coalition of stakeholders, communicating a clear vision of what is needed, engaging followers, and empowering them to be full participants in the product development process. The voice of the customer represents the market, so product owners must be attentive to that voice. They need to be familiar with the extent to which their customers are satisfied with current products, familiar with those products sold by competitors, familiar with what customers want now, and familiar with what they may want in the future. These are but a few of the management and leadership challenges that product owners must address. But we also need to consider how they structure project work, how work is divided across project participants, what is done first, and what is done next. These challenges are so significant that a framework in which to manage the process can prove very helpful. Two such frameworks are Waterfall and Agile. The Waterfall approach, also referred to as the traditional approach, has long been associated with the Project Management Institute, whose body of knowledge, BOK, has dominated the traditional approach for many decades. It is an approach best summarized by a sequence of phases that start with initiation, continue to planning, then execution, then monitoring and control, and finally closing. To some extent, we can classify it as linear and predictive. An Agile approach is different because it emphasizes flexibility in response to the inevitable changes and uncertainty that affect almost every project. It is not linear, nor is it predictive. But Agile is simply a concept. It is operationalized through Scrum. First, there are three basic roles in Scrum: product owner, Scrum Master, and development team. The product owner, as you know, is responsible for delivering a product that addresses customer needs and contributes to the goals of the organization. The Scrum Master's role is very different from the product owner's role. It focuses on ensuring that the development team follows the basic principles and practices of Scrum. But Scrum Masters are not traditional managers. Instead, they function primarily as a coach. They shape the environment within which the development team delivers results. The development team does the work. Because the product owner is responsible for the finished product, that person oversees the work of the Scrum Master and development team. Now, for the sequence of events. Projects always begin by collecting, analyzing, and summarizing end-user needs or requirements. We call them user stories. It is critically important for the product owner to take an active role in this process. If the product fails to reflect these needs or requirements, there is nothing that the Scrum Master or development team can do to overcome this oversight. In that situation, the product owner would be the owner of a disappointing or failed outcome. These requirements are entered into a product backlog. So the backlog formalizes the scope of the project. It identifies what is in and what is out. But not all requirements need to be included in the product backlog. Instead, it may make sense to deliver functioning products, but with a limited number of features. Later, once market research has been conducted and analyzed, the omitted features can be added. In Scrum, we say that the initial product incurs technical debt that will later be repaid. Once the product backlog has been completed, the next step is to determine which of those backlog items will be addressed first. So the backlog is prioritized, and a manageable group of items is assigned to what we call a sprint. Sprints are then executed by the development team while supervised by the Scrum Master and product owner. Once every day, usually first thing in the morning, the team meets to discuss what was accomplished yesterday and what is planned for today, and any problems that are likely to be encountered. This is arguably one of the most important events in Scrum. It is called the Daily Scrum. It is this event that helps to ensure that a flexible approach is practiced. Following the completion of each sprint, the team meets to review what has been accomplished and, of course, test the partially completed or fully completed product. This is called a sprint review and is an opportunity for the product owner to evaluate progress. At the end of a series of sprints, the team convenes for a different type of meeting. This one does not focus on the product, rather it focuses on the Scrum framework. It determines if the approach needs changing before the next sprint is begun. It is called a sprint retrospective. What becomes clear is that the success of the project depends upon the product owner's knowledge and skills necessary to structure the project, as well as the ability to manage and lead the group to successful outcomes. That's it. You now have a basic understanding of the role taken by a product owner and the skills needed to deliver results. And if you have found the material in this guide interesting and useful, you might consider moving on toward certification. As a certified product owner, you will be qualified to lead projects that contribute in a significant way to the competitive goals of your organization. How difficult will it be? While there is more material in a certification course and it is covered in greater depth, you should find it no more difficult than the material in this guide. How long will it take? In general, if you can plan on setting aside 2 hours every weekday night, it should take about 1 month. It would take longer, of course, if you can only work during the weekend. So consider making this professional investment in yourself and earning certification in one of the fastest growing areas in business. In addition to a product owner certification course, SSGI offers a wide range of courses in process management and leadership. Click below for more information. Once again, I am Barry Shore, and I hope you have enjoyed this presentation.